Let's switch gears now and talk politics. And have you been watching the president this week? Almost every day this week, a new executive order that the White House says will help one struggling group or another, from homeowners to college students to small business owners. The Washington Post with an article reminding us that President Clinton used a very similar strategy leading up to his bid for a second term back in 1996. This worked for Bill Clinton. Could it work again? Joining us, a former spokesman for both the Clinton-Gore and Gore-Lieberman campaigns, Josh Block, and chairman of the Civic Forum PAC and former director for John McCain's rural outreach campaign team, Ford O'Connell. Gentlemen, good to see both of you. Thanks very much for being here. And Josh, you have an interesting perspective, having worked on the Clinton-Gore re-election bid. Do you think this is a conscious thing, taking a page from the Clinton playbook?
Yeah, I think there's no question about it. You know, President Obama wants to have something in common with President Clinton. It's called being reelected. And the way to do that is to show folks that, you know, he cares about them, to reinforce the polling that shows that people believe that, but not by the margins he needs to see to get reelected. And in this case, you know, good policy is good politics. And that was the definition of what made Bill Clinton successful in his reelection bid.
Well, Ford, when Bill Clinton did it, he was trying to portray himself as a centrist. And so he put forth all of these little nuggets. And you know, if President Obama is successful in appealing to independent voters, to people who are more centrist-minded, he's well on his way to winning a second term, isn't he?
Well, this is very smart politically, but it's not going to amount to a hill of beans in terms of making a dent in our economic problems. Even the liberal Brookings Institute admits that much. We need multi-trillion-dollar economic solutions, and basically the president's decided to go shopping at the dollar store looking for political gimmicks in an effort to win re-election. The difference between Bill Clinton and President Obama is Bill Clinton could sell ice to an Eskimo. President Obama, on the other hand, he's using money we just don't have.
Josh, the Speaker of the House says that the president can issue all the executive orders that he wants, and he agrees with Ford, by the way, that a larger plan is needed as opposed to these little programs here and there. But, you know, Congress holds the purse strings. So, you know, could he run into some roadblocks here, President Obama, that is, if he puts out some programs and just doesn't get the funding that they need?
Well, I'm glad to hear that Ford and John Boehner agree with each other. That makes me sleep well at night. At least I know Ford's got his politics straight. I think the congressional Republicans lost the American people when they rebuffed to deal with America's economic problems that gave us $10 in cuts for every dollar in revenue. So I don't think that the GOP in the House has much credibility on these things, and that's the reason that President Obama is going to be even more successful as they oppose these ideas. It's because they've been so obstructionist in getting anything done. So the ideas that Obama's putting forward are going to help folks either deal with their mortgage problems or afford going to college or help them in their family situation. These are the exact same things that Bill Clinton found so effective: Family Medical Leave Act, 5,000 cops on the beat, on that kind of thing. So you're going to see resistance from Republicans because it's a good idea for Democrats.
Ford, I think that the White House probably would be heartened by a Fox News poll that just came out that sort of illustrates exactly what we were just hearing from Josh. We asked people why the economy isn't doing better under this president, and 52% say that he has good ideas, but that too few of them are being passed by Congress. You know, that's got to. What does that tell you as a Republican here?
Well, President Obama has identified the right issues. He just has not adequately, addressed the necessary solutions. We need bold entitlement reform. We need bold tax reform, and we need bold regulatory reform. We do not need dollar store gimmicks to try to get out of this situation. Look, let's take his executive order on the loan repayments for a second. He wants to cap the loan repayment at 10% of the debtor's income. By the time we're done with this, the Treasury will never recoup the funds. This will make Solyndra look like a wise economic decision. The president's grasping at straws because he wants to win re-election. That's the bottom line.
Well, I think any Republican who is in there running for re-election would want to win re-election too. So I'm not sure about that. But Josh, I think we're starting to see a narrative, are we not? That this is a president that's going to run against Congress, and really no matter who his opponent is, no matter who the Republicans nominate, it's going to be President Obama versus the do-nothing Congress. Am I right?
Well, look, when you got Congress at a 9% approval rating, and it's true, as a pro-growth Democrat, I'd like to see less regulation or smart regulation. I'd like to see bold economic plans. But you've got a Congress in the form of Eric Cantor and John Boehner who are saying no, 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 no. It reminds me of, the senator from Alaska, Ted Stevens, just having a temper tantrum on the floor of the Senate. There's a reason that President Obama's trying to go around the obstructionists in Congress, and it's to get stuff done.
Josh, my friend, you're overplaying your hand. Look, the president put forth a jobs bill, and it couldn't even get out of a democratically controlled Senate. You can't put this on House Republicans. Neither branch of Congress wants to help the president because the president hasn't put forth any honest solutions that are really going to help the economy. Look, if the president really wants help, go to John Tester, go to Nelson, Nebraska, ask them for their opinion. And if they help you out, you'll get this through Congress, because what we need is wise economic solutions, not dollar store gimmicks.
I agree with Ford that we need to cut entitlements and do smart defense spending reform. But until we get a Congress that's going to support a president doing that, we're just going to have more complaining from folks like Ford.
Gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there, but a good and spirited discussion from Josh Block and Ford O'Connell. We'll have you back again real soon.
Thank you, Rick. Always a pleasure, Josh.
You bet. You bet too, buddy.
Very good.